For your 9.5 Part 2 practice, you need to choose at least 7 problems from 305 through 306. So I've broken it up into 4 parts, and I'm going to choose 1 problem from each part. So I'm going to do 4 problems with you, and then you need to choose 3 other ones if you are following along with me. So I'm going to start with number 10. So number 10 says that in order for there to be enough orange juice for all of the campers, the cook will need to have at least 9 gallons. So at least 9. So to have enough, they've got to do at least 9. So I'm going to start thinking about that. So I want enough. So if I only make 8, that's not enough for everybody. If I make 9, that would be good. If I make more than 9, that would be better. So 9 is good, but more is better. So write an inequality that is true for the number of gallons the cook needs. So I am comparing G and 9. So what does G need to be? So what does the cook need to make? So, we decided the cook needs to make more than 9, but 9, exactly 9 would be okay. So they need to make more than 9. So it's always good to make that solution set just to think like, did I really do this right? So if I have G and it's got to be greater than or equal to 9. So if I say, if they make exactly 9. So G could be exactly 9. That was a terrible bracket, but that's okay. I could make 9.5 gallons. The cook could make 11 gallons, and all of those would be enough for the camper. So G should be greater than or equal to 9. So now I'm going to graph this inequality. So I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to put a big circle on the 9. So now I need to decide, should it be open or closed? So I can see we're including 9, right? We're wrapping it up into that 9. That garage door is shut, so we're filling it in. I cannot see into the garage. We're wrapping it up. We're including that 9. And then I've also said it could be 9.5. It could be 11. So my arrow is going to go greater than that. So including 9 and anything greater than it. So that solution set really helps me know which way my arrow should go. So if the cook buys 4, will that be enough? Well, 4 is over here. That is not included in my solution. So no, that will be less than half of what they need to feed everybody. Okay, the next one I'm going to do is number 11. So number 11 says that according to the government guidelines, drones are limited to how high they can legally fly above the ground as shown, so they may not fly higher than 400 feet. So they may not go higher than 400 feet. So write an inequality that is true for H and the height drones can fly. So I am comparing H, and we've got the number 400. So we're writing those. We always just want to find that variable and the number it's setting as a limit. So how high can drones fly? So I'm trying to find a height drones can fly. It cannot go higher than 400. So I know H has to be smaller than 400. So can it be 400 is what I want to ask myself. So it cannot go higher than 400. So I'm asking myself, if it goes 400, is that okay? Well, it just says it can't go higher than 400. So I'm thinking it can go exactly 400 and still be okay. It just can't go like 400.5. So 400 or less, and it's okay. So maybe let's make a few solutions just to double check ourselves. So if it goes 400, we're okay. We're good. We're following the law. If it goes 399, we are okay. We are following the law. It's less than 400. If it just goes 350, then that's great. We are following the law. So all of those fit. H is less than or equal to 400 to legally fly your drone. If a drone flies 430 feet above the ground, will it violate the government guidelines? So that would be 430 is greater than 400. So yes, and I could just write that as an inequality because 430 is greater than 400, right? And 400 is the limit. We can't be above 400. So every time you're writing these inequalities, you just really need to think about what is it that this variable can be. Write yourself that solution set to double check. So it's really easy to flip these signs sometimes. Okay, I'm going to do number 14. This time we are just graphing. So B has to be greater than or equal to negative 14. So I need to think about a solution set here. It's got to be bigger, right? Things that are larger are always going to be to the right. Things that are bigger go to the right. Things that are less are going to be to the left. So I could say negative 11 is greater than that. Ooh, I notice it has that equal sign, so it could equal negative 14. And I'm going to say that 3 is bigger than negative 14. So I'm going to come and circle negative 14. And now I've got to decide, is that circle open or closed? Now it's got that equal sign, so it's including it. So we're going to wrap it up in there. The garage door is shut, so we want to fill it in so we can't see into the garage. So lots of ways to remember what to do with that. Now I need to include negative 14 in that, which we did. And I said negative 11 is here, and I said 3 is bigger than that, which is over here. So that tells me my arrow goes that direction. So anything greater than negative 14 or equal to negative 14 could be a solution for B. So every time I need to see the solution set or I am not marking it correct. I need to see your solution set whether it asks for it or not. Okay, number 16 is the last one I'm going to do with you, and then you can choose some other ones to do. So if you need help, be sure to ask. I know these can be a little tricky to think about sometimes. Okay, a dog weighs less than 15 pounds. List 3 possible weights for the dog. So less than 15. So could it be 15? It just says less than. So it doesn't say it can't be. So I'm going to say, yeah, it could be 15. It could weigh 10. It could weigh 4 pounds. Write an inequality that describes the possible weights the dog can weigh. So I'm comparing W and 15 was the original comparison. So W has to be less than 15. So W is less than, or it could equal 15. They just can't weigh more than 15. So some puppies can be born with a weight 1/5 of a pound. Can any dog ever weigh 0 pounds or less? So, right, they can weigh less than a pound, but can they weigh 0 pounds? So I want you to think about that. Can something weigh 0 pounds? Dog weighs 0 pounds. Okay, an inequality can be written with a variable between 2 numbers that must be, so this is saying that sometimes we can say it's between this and this. So it has to be bigger than this, but smaller than this. So this one, so one number, it's bigger than one number, less than another. So we're going to write a new accurate inequality to describe this dog's possible weight, right? Because coming back here, dogs can't weigh 0 pounds. They can be like very teeny tiny when they are newborn, and they can weigh less than a pound, but they can't weigh 0 or they don't exist. If they have matter, they have to have a weight, okay? So this weight has to be bigger than 0. So this weight has to be greater than 0. So the 0, I'm gonna have to think about if I'm doing that right. So we know the weight has to be less than or equal to 15. And then the weight has to be, that says weight is less than 0. So I don't want to do 0 is greater than the weight. No, that is not what I want. See, sometimes you just really have to think about what it's saying to you. I want the weight to be greater than 0. So 0 is the least, right? And I'm saying it can't be equal to 0. It's got to be, so 0 is like, can't exist. So W is greater than 0, and then W is less than or equal to 15. So every time you're just finding that variable and then reading from that direction. So I know we kind of read backwards on that one. So W is greater than 0. So W could be 0.5, and that's bigger than 0. So now we're going to graph this new inequality. So let's start with this one here. So we know we came up with these possible solutions here. So we're going to start with 15. And it was included, right? That garage door is shut. We can't see into it. Wrap it up in there. And we are saying, okay, then we've got to find this one here, 0. And it is not included. We can see into that garage. It's not shut. It is not included. And so anything bigger than 0 and anything less than 15 can be the weight of this dog. So there you go. Okay, so go ahead and pick a few others to try out to practice writing and graphing those inequalities.